Breaking news, reports of a shooting in Raleigh. We have a crew live on the scene.
A new winter storm warning make today and tomorrow WRAL weather alert days. The new WRAL snow forecast shows who will see the most snow.
And below freezing temperatures means roads could become treacherous. We have crews live in the WRAL storm tracker and beyond, tracking traffic trouble spots. More winter weather in our area tonight. Our second round of snow in just the last couple of weeks. This is video from around the state. We've seen flakes falling in Nags Head, Clinton, the Outer Banks, and Carolina Beach.
The flakes are falling. We are also on top of some breaking news in Raleigh that we need to keep you updated on. There is a major police presence near Democracy Street. Officers there have blocked off several roads in that area tonight. There's a phone alert that has gone out to people in that area, warning them to stay inside. We have multiple crews on top of that story for you tonight. Thank you for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Dan Haggerty.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. Again, our two big stories tonight: extensive winter weather coverage and breaking news in Raleigh, a large police presence near Democracy Drive. Police are telling people in that area to stay inside. We're going to get to that in a moment, but first let's get a check on the forecast. Several inches of snow could be falling in our area tonight, Kat.
And Clinton's one of those areas that's likely to see 2 to 3 inches. It's already piling up there in downtown Clinton and in Raleigh at the WRAL Gardens. We're starting to see the snow really come down across Wake County tonight as well. So let's take a look at the dual Doppler 5000 radar. It's looked like this for a couple of hours now, but it took a while for there to be enough moisture at the surface for the snowflakes to actually make it to the ground. A lot of the snow was initially evaporating. We're starting to see that change. A lot more of the snow now reaching the ground, and it should stay that way for the next several hours. We're not going to see the snow taper off until closer to midnight around Raleigh and Wake County. Up to an inch in our northern counties from Raleigh over into Johnston County, Rocky Mount, and the Sandhills, 1 to 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches along and east of I-95, and at the coast, we are going with 4 to 6 inch snowfall totals, and it's our eastern counties toward the coast where we've got the winter storm warning. Coming up, I'll walk you through what to expect hour by hour on Futurecast.
All right, Kat, thanks. Now let's get to that breaking news in Raleigh.
A shooting investigation we know is unfolding. This is as all of this winter weather passes through. WRL Sean Gallagher joining us live in the area where this happened. This is let's go to Brian first. So, Brian, we're still trying to get an idea of exactly how serious this situation is and what has played out there on Democracy Street in Raleigh.
We'll get to Sean in just a moment live at the scene. We can tell you that sources tell WRAL that at least one Raleigh police officer has been shot in all of this. This started just before 6 o'clock on Democracy Street. This is in a neighborhood on the south side of Raleigh near Garner, not too far from South Wilmington Street and Chapin Oak Road. You mentioned that people in that Renaissance Park neighborhood received an alert on their phones. This is what they got in the past half hour. Raleigh police telling them to go inside and stay inside now. Also, they are closing roads in that area. Chapin Oak Road, for instance, is closed right now. They also closed exits along 40 and 440 between that scene and Wake Med. And we take you live to that picture on New Bern Avenue at Trawick Road looking back toward Wake Med. We have seen at least 2 ambulances heading into that area. We are going to keep up with the latest from the WRAL Live Center as this story develops.
Let us know what you find out, Brian. Thank you. Let's get out to Sean now.
Yeah, Sean, you have been there now for a while. What's the latest? We see a huge police presence behind you.
Yeah, Ashley and Dan, we got on the scene maybe about a half an hour ago. We were setting up to try to stream back some video so that we could have something ready to go. And within seconds, we heard a dozen or more gunshots. There was an officer who was kind of standing by with us just to make sure we didn't go any farther. And when the gunshots went off, he told us to rush and get behind vehicles, get behind trees, anywhere to take cover because the situation was more active than I have ever experienced in this job. But you can see here behind me, it is still a very active scene. There are dozens of police vehicles here. I've seen vehicles from Raleigh Police. I've seen Raleigh Sheriff's Department, and they are taping off everywhere that we are right now. This is a development here where you really kind of got to know your way around to be able to get through these streets, but it is very, very close. All the houses are within, maybe 10 or 15 feet of each other. But the area where this happened is a home that is just around the corner from us. We still can't see where this all happened from where we're standing. Police won't let us get any farther than right here, as you can see behind me, another street that is taped off. And from where you're looking right now, the house is actually the next block to your right, and a home over there. And from what we heard through radio traffic, this is a very hectic scene, and this is a little bit of what that sounded like. Okay, we're hearing live gunshots right now. An officer is telling us that we have to move because of that, but there are...
Straight stuff.
Absolutely, sir.
Don't get behind cover, please.
Yeah. Here we go. So we're being asked to move. There are a lot of shots fired right now. We're hearing a number of bangs right now from what we can see where this investigation. So that's just a little bit of what it was like when we first got to the scene. Again, about 6:30 that happened. That push alert that everyone in this area got came out within minutes afterwards. But right now we're still waiting for more information, more about the status of the officer who was shot, if anyone else was shot, why police were here to begin with, and just details about all of this unfolding here tonight. But we'll throw it back to you guys for now.
Sean, thank you. Stick around. So we're going to talk to you again in just a moment. But compelling bit of video there with the gunshots in the background.
Absolutely. So this is a residential area that is near Lake Wheeler Road and Tryon Road, also sort of between Lake Wheeler Road and 401. And I just was actually speaking moments ago with somebody who lives in that neighborhood and talking about the tense moments that they're feeling and how he's just pacing around, being told by that alert that he received on his phone not to leave the home. I mean, talk about scary moments. Heidi Kirk also following this breaking news for us in that neighborhood. And Heidi, you're speaking with someone who has also seen all of this unfold.
Ashley, that's right. We've spoken with several people in this area, and they really just described this jarring feeling, having those police officers rush by, hearing those shots ring out. I'm bringing you one person who was actually in a walk in this neighborhood when this happened. I'm going to ask you, what exactly did you see and hear in these moments?
I mean, at the time it happened, it was just a lot of police cars out here. I was going to get something to eat from El Patron, and next thing I know, it was just a lot of cars out here as far as police presence. They told us to move back, and it was just shut down from that point on.
And describe that feeling when you started to hear those shots ring out.
Oh, I moved back. I wasn't even about to listen. I wasn't about to play with it.
Mm-hmm. No. And I ran into you at the gas station, and you said, I've been standing by, just curious about what's going on. Describe to me why you decided to hang around and see what's going on.
Because you don't usually see this stuff in this area. I mean, this is a quiet neighborhood, so you don't usually see a lot of stuff going on out here.
Do you have any idea how many shots rang out?
When I turned the live off, it was probably about 8 shots to ring out.
Wow. And of course, you're probably familiar with this area. You said you're from around here. You say it's a quiet neighborhood. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
I mean, it's quiet. You see people walking their dogs, friendly people and stuff like that. So you rarely see police presence in this area. So it's kind of strange.
Mm-hmm. And I actually spoke with another woman just a moment ago, and she said it's absolutely shocking to see something like this around here. She actually said this is the most amount of police she's ever seen in her life in one area.
Yeah, for this area.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Nah, I was describing it as like GTA. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that you can describe it as, because you'll never see this many police for nothing like this.
And, I heard Sean mention just a few minutes ago in his career, it's not something that he's seen. It's certainly not in mine. I'm looking around, more police in every single corner of this normally quiet neighborhood. Obviously, you can see the snow coming down. It's just a very unusual night for many of us out here. And we're going to continue, looking to find people who were around in this area when this happened. And obviously, just such jarring experiences.
Heidi, thank you. I mean, honestly, between the shots she's showing there of that lineup of police cars, then you have Sean, who's in another area. You saw how many officers were there. And kind of a chilling image. As Heidi was doing her interview, we had the 2 screens up, and you saw on one what looked like 3 or 4 different ambulances pulling into Wake Med.
Yeah, that was Wake Med. Just a live picture there of the scene. Very active. I was telling you I was on the phone with somebody who lives in that neighborhood. He was telling me as I was on the phone with him that there were about 20 different police vehicles with sirens going that he was witnessing while I was on the phone with him. And that's in addition to the 20 others that were already there. Huge police presence. Let's get out to Wake Med now, where we find WRAL's Carly Haynes. Carly, Dan was just remarking on how busy of a scene that is behind you.
We're seeing these scenes pop up all around Raleigh, including where we are right now, and people are continuing to come. I mean, even as I'm standing here, we're seeing Raleigh police officers coming to Wake Med. They are just lining New Bern Avenue right now. We have seen ambulances come in, at least 3 at this point. One just surrounded by those sirens, those police officers around here. We're seeing the Wake County Sheriff's Office as well. And we also saw officers on foot running to the hospital. While we were standing here, we heard them detour some other people to UNC Rex. So this hospital is shut down right now. New Bern Avenue, it's shut down right now. We have officers guiding cars away in the intersections around here to clear the way for all of these first responders. But I truly cannot count the amount of cars with blue lights, the amount of police cruisers that we're seeing here as we're standing here right now. So truly this chaotic scene that's playing out. People were definitely attentive to the situation that was going on here, and it's evolving as we're standing here.
Carly, thank you. So just to walk everybody through kind of how things have transpired throughout the evening, obviously we have Carly Haynes at Wake Med, where we know at least one police officer has been shot at a residential neighborhood in Raleigh. But of course, everybody was out covering weather tonight. That was the big story, the snow coming in from the coast all the way to the Triangle when we got word that there might have been a situation.
Yeah, that shots were fired and that this was beginning to look like a very large presence. And then we started to hear that maybe a police officer was involved, and so that's where we mobilized a lot of our crews. But to your point, the temperatures are frigid outside. So this investigation going on while we are under, this weather advisory.
It was also after that initial call where we sent Sean Gallagher from covering weather and covering the roads to that neighborhood in Raleigh, and he played at the top of the show what happened after he got there. So even after responding to the scene, he hears the multiple shots that were fired during some type of situation with police. So again, all of this is unfolding. How it all happened, those are questions we're still waiting to answer. But we have all of our reporters on this for you tonight. We want to get things into the live center and touch base with Brian and see what else we're able to learn. Brian.
Ashley and Dan, just before airtime, Ashley talked with someone who lives there in that Renaissance Park neighborhood, Drew Duffy, and here is what he said about what happened.
Yeah, I would say is when we started hearing a bunch of sirens, and it looks like the police are actually, they're flying down the highway right now. They're going somewhere. There's a lot of officers. Oh, my goodness.
This is happening right now?
Yeah, this is happening right now. I believe they're going to the Peachtree Cultural Center, which would align with what one of the neighbors said they heard gunshots down that direction.
All right, that's Drew Duffy, one of the people who lives there in that Renaissance Park neighborhood. I want to zoom in there and show you exactly where this is all happening again. The initial reports came in just before 6 o'clock along Democracy Street, not too far from Palace Garden Way, which intersects with Tryon Road. This is not far from Iliagnis Road, Chapanoke Road, and South Wilmington Street. They're on the south side of Raleigh heading down toward Garner. They have closed Chapanoke Road right now with that massive police presence. I can tell you something that has changed in just the past few minutes. It looks like the New Bern Avenue has reopened between 440 and Wake Med. There for a while, we saw Raleigh police, state troopers, and sheriff's deputies blocking that section of New Bern Avenue, but it does look like that scene has reopened. And here's that live picture from the scene now with that massive police presence there on the south side of Raleigh.
Thank you, Brian. So you spoke to this man on the phone who lives in that neighborhood. What was that call like?
Well, I mean, he was very tense. He was very nervous, pacing throughout his place. He was glad because he lives on an upper level. But when you get that message to your phone saying, "Do not leave your house," that's nerve-wracking, to say the least. And so
you could tell in his voice the way he was talking to you.
Exactly. And this is a residential area. There are a lot of people who are feeling those same tense emotions, trying to figure out what's going on, as we with you also try to figure out exactly what transpired here, the condition of this officer that we are hearing about as well, and of course this huge police presence while we are also dealing with snow and deep cold.
So as far as the police are concerned, I mean, you can see how many different areas they have locked down, from the neighborhood to the hospital to the roads in between. We have WRAL's Julian Grace. He is out on, is it Saunders Street? Julian, give us an idea of what's going on out there.
Yes, Dan, I want to set the scene here for you. We are just off of Saunders Street, and just look behind me at the row of squad cars that are here. It almost appears that we're at the Raleigh Police Department and in their parking lot. These cars have not moved, but I can tell you who has moved. The officers, they have been coming in and out of their vehicles, walking around here, making sure everyone stays at bay. Also, we've noticed this. Staging ambulances. Here's one right here. And there were 3 in this parking lot at one point. The other 2 drove away. I want to say about 5 minutes or so ago. No one entered that ambulance, but people in this community, they're asking questions. They want to know more, but there's been a lot of focus.
4:45, and there it goes. Still a little bit of snow falling along the coast. I'm going to show you how much they saw there at the coast, which was a good bit more than what we saw here, which is what we were expecting. But I'll show you that coming up. Here's a live look at Sanford right now, and you can see there's definitely some snow on the road, but you can see some of the pavement through the snow. Once that sun comes up this morning, we're going to see clearing skies, and that sun will really do a good job of melting the snow on the roads. I would still, the farther east you go, we had more snowfall around Rocky Mount, Fayetteville, eastward. That's areas you need to avoid travel. But as we get through the day today, we're going to see impacts improving, or at least the snow on the roads improving. And we have a cold weather advisory for this morning. Our wind chill in the single digits to the low teens. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're keeping it outside for you this morning. Here's a live look at I-87, US 64 business there in Knightdale. You can see the main roads of stretches of the highway are clear this morning, but you can see the snow build up in the median and on the shoulder of the road as well. Not much traffic to report. Similarly, on I-40 and Rock Quarry Road, you can see that sheen right there because of the street lights, but the main road, again, just free and clear this morning. Really be careful on those secondary roads, those rural roads where maybe the plows were not, or the brine were not able to get down this morning. So just be careful if you have to head out this morning. We're not seeing any incidents on any of our major roads this morning, so all the major routes are free and clear for right now. We have WRAL's Kelsey Coffey, photographer Mark Alexic, monitoring some road conditions for us. So Kelsey, set the scene for us where you are.
Ken, right now we're on 40 West, and we just passed the Wade Avenue exit. And good advice from Kim there about just being careful on secondary roads, because that's where we're seeing the most snow. As far as main thoroughfares, interstates, you should be good to go. However, we are seeing some snow on on-ramps and off-ramps. So if you don't have to worry about driving this morning, don't. But if you do, just be careful about those on-ramps and off-ramps. Right now, we are on our way to Old Reed Creek Bridge. It goes over 40. It's near Harrison Avenue. We're going to check that out and be sure to keep you updated on what that looks like this morning. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
So the snow blanketed our area, and it also fell at the beach. Even more snow at the beach. This is video of Wilmington becoming a winter wonderland. 3 inches of snow in Wilmington. The coast saw more snow than we did here in the Triangle. We're still waiting to see some of those final snow totals.
And let's give you a look at another beach. This is a live look at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, also seeing a blanket of snow, a rare coastal winter storm. Elizabeth, who would have thought that the snow winners from a winter snowstorm would be the coast at the beach?
It's certainly not the way we normally see it, that's for sure. It's still snowing there, too. Take a look at Dual Doppler 5000 radar. You can still see some snow showers from New Bern eastward, but it is over for us. I feel like the forecast worked out pretty well. We saw 1 inch to 1.5 inches right here in Raleigh. We had some heavier totals the farther east you went, and that's what we were expecting because it was a coastal storm. We have the top of the tower lit in white for winter. It's the second time we've been able to do that this month. Our snowfall reports, a couple of them are coming in now from down east. Rocky Mount at 3 inches. Nahunta, which is in Wayne County, 2.5 inches. Wake Forest, almost 2 inches. 1.5 inches at Coates. And at WRAL here, we had about 1 inch of snow. Our road temperatures are cold. 19 in Roxborough, South Hill, 20 in Durham. We're nowhere close to freezing on the roads, but that doesn't mean that we won't get some good melting today. Meteorologist Chris Michaels here to talk about how that sunshine and dark colors tend to do some pretty good melting.
Exactly, and especially even with temperatures just about freezing, hopefully the sun will be high enough to where those road surfaces will warm up a little bit. One thing you need to keep in mind, especially as we head into the afternoon, is that the snow reflects 90% of the light that comes in. Make sure you're rocking the shades as you're heading out this afternoon. The other thing, though, is that actually helps our temperatures at night drop even more. In fact, one of the more extreme cases I covered was in Tennessee when we had snow on the ground and dropped to 13 below. We're not going to do that, but we'll drop to about 10 to 15 by first thing tomorrow morning. All the more reason to let that faucet drip. I know at my house I've got the crawl space and everything, so definitely doing that on a night like tonight. And unfortunately, that means some refreeze potential heading into tomorrow morning. Elizabeth?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I think, as you said, that sunshine's really going to work on the roads today, and so we'll see a good bit of improvement. This morning, early on, the main roads are looking okay. We have crews all over. Just keep watching us this morning, and hopefully we'll hit the areas that you're looking for. Side roads are going to be slick probably all day, especially as our temperatures are cold. We have dangerous wind chills this morning in the teens, and we'll see that again for tomorrow morning as well. But the snow is over, so kids get out there and enjoy it while you can. We have a live look there at North Hills, at Fayetteville. Streets are covered there in Fayetteville. Apex looking pretty snowy. Chapel Hill, though, not as much snow there, and it looks like things look a little better. It's a little hard to see this Wrightsville Beach camera. Maybe we can work on that because it's pretty cool to see the snow there. You can still see some snow hanging around there on the coast right now, but it'll be over probably in the next couple of hours. Look at this. Wilmington, 5 inches, 7 to 8 inches as you move up the coast toward Morehead City. Absolutely amazing. Snow totals along the coast. Whiteville at 6 inches, Morehead City 5 inches, and that we may see that number bump up a little bit. Hampstead 3.5, Wilmington officially 3 inches, but it looks like we may see again some of those totals bumping up. A historic snow in Florida. The old state record was 4 inches, and look at this. They saw 9 inches in Crestview, which is not too far from Pensacola. I mean, right close to the coast. Of course, it's going to be cold around here. This morning we have a cold weather advisory. Again, just like we did yesterday, our wind chill is 9 in Rocky Mount, 11 in Goldsboro, 11 in Fayetteville, and 12 in Southern Pines. Our sledding forecast for today, cold out there. This is our hour-by-hour wind chill, teens this morning, and then mid-20s for this afternoon. Checking out the 7-day forecast, we do have another cold night in our forecast at 15, and then we begin to see our temperatures warming up a good bit closer to normal as we get into most of next week. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, less than 10 minutes before 5, here's a live look down there in Garnet this morning. US 70 business, Highway 42, not much traffic to report, which is good news. But you can see the main stretches of Highway 70 right now, just free and clear, just the snow accumulated here on the shoulder and in the median this morning. So that's really good news. We're going to take it down east, give you a live look at I-87 and 64 business there in Nightdale. The great news is a lot of you don't have to be out this morning, and that's really what it's important to you to stay off the roads if possible this morning, but I know some of you have to go to work. But the main roads are clear. The problem are those secondary roads, those rural roads. Right now we just have a crash on a Jonesville Road right there in northern Wake County. Of course, that's not any of our major roadways, so everything is free and clear that way. You're getting ready to head out this morning. These road conditions constantly change. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Thanks, Ken. Elizabeth was talking about Florida snow.
Yeah, record-breaking
right?
snow there. How wild.
What about a blanket on Bourbon Street? Snow in the Big Easy. How about this?
We'll show you how people in New Orleans are making the most of a rare snowfall.